Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. I was unable to stop the kirtan, so I sent a message to you.
No problem.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining this morning to continue our morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussions. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhav and then Mangalacharan and then with the discussion. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Gaura Hari Jaya Radha Sharad Vihari Radha Sharad Vihari Radhe Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Shri Subhadra Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev Gaur Premanande Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpad Kamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapt Kanchan Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Om Agyantimirandasya Gya. Okay. I think I already did the Mangalacharan. So we'll continue with our next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 197. The name of the chapter is The Appearance of Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And we are on the verse 7. So with the blessings and support of all the devotees on the call, we'll continue with the discussion and try to understand today's verse. Iti vyavashidya sa pandaveyaha prayopavesham prativishnupadyam dadhau mukundangrim ananya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangha iti vyavashidya sa pandaveyaha prayopavesham prativishnupadyam dadhau mukundangrim ananya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangha iti vyavashidya sa pandaveya prayopavesham prativishnupadyam dadhau mukundangrim ananya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangha. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, anyone would like to recite?
Iti Vyavachidya Sapandaveya Vayopavesham Pativishnupadyam Tadam Mukundangrim Ananibhavo Munivato Mukta Samasta Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Iti vyavachidasa pandaveya prayopavesham prativushnubhatyam dada mukunda dagrimanya bhavo muni vrato mukta samasta sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Iti vachidya sa pandaveha prayopivesham prativishnupadyam dadau mukundam agrim ananya bhavo muni vrato mukta samasta sangaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Synonyms, word-to-word meanings. Iti, thus, vyavachidya, having decided, Saha, the king, Pandaveya, worthy of descendant of the Pandavas. Praya upavesham, for fasting until death. Prati, toward. Prati, toward Vishnu Padyam, on the bank of the Ganges, emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Dadau gave himself up, Mukunda Angrim, unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Ananya, without deviation. Bhava, spirit. Muni Vrataha, with the vows of a sage. Mukta, liberated from. Samasta, all kinds of. Sangaha, association. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of sage. Purport: the water of the Ganges sanctifies all the three worlds, including the gods and the demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the fountainhead of the principle of Vishnu Tattva, and therefore, shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by a king unto a Brahmana. Maharaj Parikshit therefore decided to meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, who is Mukunda, or the giver of liberations of all description. The banks of the Ganges or the Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all sorts of material association and meditated upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. To meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. The conditions of the material world are so made that one has to commit sins willingly or unwillingly. And the best example is Maharaj Parikshit himself, who was a recognized sinless, pious king. But he also became a victim of an offense, even though he was ever unwilling to commit such a mistake. He was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverses of life became favorable. The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sin in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord without deviation. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress toward the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if there are accidental sins committed by the devotees, the Lord saves the surrendered soul from all sins, as confirmed in all scriptures. Sopadamulam bhajataha priyasya tyaktani abhavasya harihi pareshah vikramyach chotipatitam kathanshida dhunoti sarvam hriday sanvishtaha. Bhagavatam 11.5.42. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasim tato jayam mudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavati sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So welcome devotees once again to today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam 1.19.7. Once again, the name of the chapter is The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. It's a beautiful verse. And the very nice name of Krishna is used here, Mukunda Angrim, unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Another name related to this word is Pankajangri. The prayers of Kunti Maharani, it comes. Pankajangri. Pankaji means lotus. Pankajangri, surrendered into the lotus feet of Krishna. So, just to give a quick recap, we are talking about the glories of Maharaj Parikshit and Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit is a Raj Rishi. Raj Rishi is a very powerful and very auspicious role, because it means just not becoming a ruler, king, or leader. It means becoming a leader with the qualities of a rishi, qualities of a sage. Why is that important? Because that helps in establishing, one who establishes and maintains the religious principles in the society. He is a Rajarshi. Only when we have leaders who are Raj Rishis, we can experience a society free of any corruption, any violence, violence in the sense, the unaccepted violence, right? And society of which is heading towards spiritual and material, both advancements. Otherwise, it's a polarized society, extreme society, full of extremists, right? So Maharaj Parikshit, here is, we see in the previous verses, he was repenting on his actions towards the sage Shamik, that he ended up making that offense. At the same time, we were understanding in the previous verses, Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of the king. So it was not really a big deal that he made that small offense. And then he received, as he was repenting already, he received the news of Brahmin boy, Shringi, sage Shamik's son, that he has cursed him, that he will get bitten by a Takshak snake bird in 7 days. Even by hearing that extreme curse, Maharaj Parikshit was not disturbed at all. In fact, he was happy. And that is the nature, that is the feature of a self-realized soul. A self-realized soul is fearless because he understands who really he is, and he is completely surrendered to Krishna. And when this great reversal came in his life, Maharaj Parikshit's life, think about it. Somebody having all the opulences in this world, on this planet. And suddenly he is being told, you will die in few days, meaning you will be cut away from all these opulences, all these enjoyments. But even when such a great reversal came, he took the advantage of it. How? By being humble and surrendered to Krishna. And in fact, he made this great curse or great reversal in his life a great vehicle for his spiritual advancement in Krishna consciousness. That is the path of liberation which is mentioned here, which can be given only by Mukunda, Lord Krishna. Similarly, we see our dear Srila Prabhupada, how he dedicated his life completely to Krishna consciousness. He was already a devotee, and he was, of course, he came from Vaikuntha, Goloka, but to set the example, to inspire, to encourage us, he had to go through his family life, business life, and we see how he was getting failed in his business, in his family life, and that adverse situations, that reverse situations, he converted them into a great fortune, great blessing by becoming and dedicating his life completely to Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dehino yasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar praptim dhirastatra namuyati. That one who has understood that who really he is, just a soul, spirit soul, not this body. And he goes through in this body, that we go through the stages of birth, growing up, old age, and death, just like somebody changes the clothes. And then the new body comes. One who has really understood this process, this absolute truth, they are called Dhira. They are called the most intelligent. They don't get bewildered. They are very fixed. Now here we also see in this chapter, and still, in spite of hearing many times and trying to understand, still a lot of people have a hard time understanding how come Parikshit Maharaj or Raj Rishi. Again, Raj Rishi is a very, very high role that a leader, a king, a leader of a society, he performs. How come a Raj Rishi like Shri Parikshit Maharaj, he could act like he did in this case, in relation to the sage Shamek? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, if we really study and analyze, we see how Krishna stages things. Krishna stages things in a way that most crucial lessons can be given to the world. Because in order to make spiritual progress, we just don't need the philosophy, we also need the great stories. Because that's what hits the heart of people. And the philosophy is one thing. We also need the stories of people who followed that philosophy and who didn't follow that philosophy, so that we know do's and don'ts. That's what's going on in whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Krishna wants to speak to the whole world through these scriptures, he makes his lessons in such a grand scale with such powerful personalities like Maharaj Parikshit, Arjuna, Shri Bhishma Dev, Vritasur. You can name it. Keep on naming it in Srimad Bhagavatam. So with this great personality, when these stories are revealed to the world, they make a big impact. Just for example, think about it. If a small person like me, very small person like me, Dhira Krishna Das, living in a very small town, Reading, he makes any offense, any aparadh, who will remember that? And nobody. But when the similar kind of actions by under the guidance of Krishna are done by big, great personalities, everyone will remember for thousands of years. Like we are still reading, hearing, and cherishing these pastimes of these great personalities, even after 500 years, 5,000 years actually, right? Or thousands of years, more than a lot of these incidents happened, which are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, are millions of years back, right? So when these stories involve personalities like Indra, Lord Shiva, Durvasa Muni, Parikshit Maharaj, Vritasur, Bhishma Dev, it remains forever as a source of teaching to us. So here you also mentioned that he accepted the vows of a sage. So Maharaj Parikshit takes the vows of a sage. He gives up all material associations. Meaning what? He gave up all kinds of association, means he gave up all kind of material associations. And he went to the bank of Mother Ganga, River Ganga. For what? For Sadhu Sangha. Very important point. That is the vow of a sage. That a person who is really self-interest, or who is really interested in self-realization, in spiritual advancement, he takes certain vows to progress and bhakti. And like Parikshit Maharaj, he had took the vow of not eating anything, going to the bank of river Ganga, going to the holy place, meaning that, and taking the vow of, sadhu sangha. These are the great vows for spiritual advancement. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 says, one who is not disturbed in mind, even in the middle of threefold miseries, or he is not too elated, not too happy, even when there is a reason for happiness, and one who is free from various attachments, fear, anger, lust, he is called a sage of steady mind. He is a sage, real sage. And all these features we are seeing in Maharaj Parikshit here. So this bank of Ganges is very, very important. Realizing that he has only 7 days, Maharaj Parikshit sat on the banks of Ganges. Who is Ganges? Who is Mother Ganges? She originates from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And that's why this Charnamrit, it becomes Charnamrit. Because anything that touches Lord's body, transcendental body, especially his lotus feet, that we take in the form of Charnamrit Prasad. Just like we get it in our temple every Sunday. Any water which is used to bathe or that is touched to the lotus feet of Krishna, the Lord, it becomes Charnamrit. In Hari Bhakti Vilas and other scriptures, the glories of Charnamrit are mentioned. The water which has washed the feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and even Vaishnavas, the pure devotees of the Lord, is equal to the places of all pilgrimages in this creation together. How glorious it is. After drinking such water, one does not have to even take the ashman or clean or wash his hands or her hands. This is what mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Mother Ganga is very glorious. The only thing is we should take with faith. This is a medicine which is as powerful as our faith is. So this is the spiritual science. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of Mother Ganga are mentioned. Ninna Ganga yatha Ganga devanam chito atha Vaishwananam yatha Sambhu Purananam idam tatha. Very famous verse. Just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta is the supreme among all deities, and Lord Shambhu is the greatest among Vaishnavas. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. So these Twadiyas, these paraphernalia of Lord Krishna, Ganga, Yamuna, Tulsi leaf, Srimad Bhagavatam, they can exponentially help us in advancing in Krishna consciousness. In Padma Puran, it comes, even a person who has never given a charity, who has never been able to perform austerity for whatever reason, who has never studied any Vedas, and who has never been able to worship the Lord. There has to be a reason for all that, not just out of choice. Or in other words, who has not been even able to perform any pious activities, he becomes eligible. The word is eligible. He becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of God if he simply drinks the Charnamrit, which is kept in the temple. So we should not ignore that activity of honoring Charnamrit with great respect, just not like we are drinking any normal water. It has to be, we should do our pranam, and with great respect and faith, we should honor that Charnamrit. Srila Prabhupada, he himself used to rely upon Charnamrit. He always preferred Charnamrit over medicines. Of course, when there is an acute problem, you have to go through the medical system, but he was always preferring taking Charnamrit. And we all know Pisima, Srila Prabhupada's sister, she also used to prefer Charnamrit whenever she was sick. And once there was a story that her son, Pisima's son, his name is Madan, he got sick of cholera, a very acute disease. But out of her firm faith, she gave him only Charnamrit and he was cured. Prabhupada was very, he used to recite this story of Pisima, how she had so much Shraddha, so much faith in Ganga Jal. And she also used to carry a bottle of Ganga Jal always with her. So there are some pastimes, if time permits, I will share of some pastimes that happened in Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan. So we see how Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, actually. Nimna Ganga, Yatha Ganga. In all the holy rivers, Ganga is greatest. And anything performed on the banks of these holy rivers, especially Ganga, Yamuna, Shri Radha Kund, Shri Shyam Kund, any auspicious activities, any spiritual activities that we perform, they benefit us multiple times more. So, and the story comes in scriptures that when Lord Baman approached Maharaj Bali for Dan, he begged for 3 steps of land. With the second step, Lord Baman, we all know this story, he pierced the covering of the whole universe. So when he pierced that covering, few drops came to this universe from the causal, the Karan ocean. It leaked through that hole, the Karan, the water from the Karan ocean, few drops, and it became Ganges. Another story that comes, another pastime that comes, that once Lord Shiva was chanting the glories of Lord Krishna, and Narad Muni and Ganesh, they were playing the veena and mridangam. The divine personalities were dancing. There was a perfectly spiritual vibration, harmonious vibrations because of this divine music of Lord Shiva, Narad Muni, Ganesha. And when this divine music, the vibrations pierced through the universe, Lord Narayan also came to hear their concert. And Narayan told Lord Shiva that this music, this is so ecstatic that it is causing his body to melt. This is what Lord Vishnu told Lord Shiva. And it literally started happening. His body started to melt. And Lord Brahma preserved that water in his pot. Of course, a divine pot. And it became Ganga. And he used that divine water to wash the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. The point is that the position of Mother Ganga is very high. And she is the direct paraphernalia of Lord Krishna. Many accounts come in Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranas. Anything we do, yagna, we do any charity, any japa, we do any worship, any puja, any service on the banks of these holy rivers, these holy places, it would bring billion times reward to the performer. Even our Shridham, Mayapur, Navdeep is on the bank of Ganga. Just so when we visit Sri Mayapur Dham, by default we are engaged in these spiritual activities. We go to take darshan of the Lord, we chant there on the bank of, the whole town is on the bank of Mother Ganga. We do our japa there every morning, we attend Mangala Aarti. The whole day we are engaged in devotional service. It becomes even more potent. And this land of India, Bharatvarsh, is blessed with so many rivers. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Kaveri, Narmada, Sindhu. So everyone who lives in Bharatvarsh, this land is very fortunate. But just birth and living there is not enough. We have to really make use of opportunity. So even greater is what? That we are able to hear about the greatness of these holy places. No matter we are away from physically from that place, but by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he brought the holy Dham, all these glories of and the blessings of all these rivers to us right here. Because when we hear, when we read, our consciousness is already in those holy places. And even when Vaishnavas, as devotees, we put our tilak, we invoke all these holy rivers first, right? Ganga cha Yamuna cha Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Sannidhim Karo. So this is the first activity we do. When we do Archa, Arga, we invoke these holy rivers. So these are the rivers which have appeared to help us in our devotional services, to make us pure, so that we can perform our devotional services. So just visiting the holy river or place is not enough. What is even higher? And we will see this principle in the future verses. Just going to the banks of Ganges is not enough. Then Maharaj Parikshit got engaged in Sadhu Sangha. That was even more higher. So Prabhupada used to say, one who goes to holy place just to bathe in the river or just as a tourist, that is symptom of Kali. Of course, there are some benefits still, but the real spiritual benefit is missing for those people who go there as tourists. The currents, the waves of Ganga are very, very powerful, but even more powerful is, in this age of Kali, is the current of the waves of Krishna's holy names. Harinam, Sankirtan. Lord Kapil Dev explains in Srimad Bhagavatam that even if someone is born in a very low family of Chandala, dog eaters, which is the lowest birth by any social standing, but if one is chanting the holy name of Krishna, it means he has already gone to all the holy places. He has already bathed in all the holy rivers. Many, many millions times, not just once, many, many million times. He has already studied all the Vedas. And he has already done all kind of yajnas. This is the glory of Harinam Sankirtan. So the real purpose of going on pilgrimage is to associate with holy people, to perform kirtan with them, to participate in Harinam Sankirtan, to hear from them the glories of Krishna, his names, his pastimes. Srila Narottam Thakur has sung a very beautiful bhajan. If I will sing it just a couple of lines, feel free to sing along. What he means in this beautiful song is that by bathing 100 of times in Ganga, one could be purified of sins and may eventually get the love of God. But just by seeing a pure devotee, just by seeing a pure Vaishnava, the same effect can be achieved because devotees of the Lord are these holy places personified. So this new year started with such a great note. We already have 2 spiritual masters, pure devotees, giving us our darshan. So we should be very greedy for these opportunities. Just not seeing them, how can we serve them? How can we hear more from them? That should be the idea. Narottam Das Thakur says, Ei baro karuna karo Vaishnava Gosai Patita pavana toma Bine ke ho nai Gangara parasha hoile Paschate pavana. Meaning, if one takes the bath in river Ganga, many times he might become somewhat pure. But darshane pavitra karo ei tomar guna. Meaning, just by seeing, but just by having darshan of a pure soul, pure devotee, it can burn our sins and aparadhs. Another important point that comes here is Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all kinds of associations and attachments. What does it mean? Freeing from what kind of association and attachments? Asat Sanga Tyagat. Most important anga of bhakti. Of course, Harinam, Sankirtan, reading, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtan, everything very high. But as a practicing devotee, most important anga, I think, in bhakti is Asat Sanga Tyagat. Sadhu Sangha. Tyagat, sacrificing or abandoning the Asat Sangha. We'll see what Asat Sangha means. But if Sangha is not good, if Sangha is, our association is bad, Asat, it's like a Hati Snan, meaning in nectar instruction, Srila Goswami mentions, and Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, it's like a Hati Snan, meaning the elephant, when he takes bath in the river, he will enjoy, he will take a lot of time to shower himself in the river. And then as soon as he comes out of the river, he will, immerse himself or lie down on the dust of the banks of the river. Again, he is dirty. So bad association is like that. When as for practicing devotees, chanting, hearing, everything we are doing, but our association is not good, it's like a Hati Snan. And what is Asat Sangha? In Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes. Asat Sangha Tyaga E Vaishnavachar. Stri Sangi Ek Asadhu Krishna Bhakta Ar. A Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Because common people are very much, or ordinary people are very much attached to material things. To money, power, women. So Vaishnava should also avoid the company of those who are not devotees of Lord Krishna. This is the instruction given. That is Asat Sangha. This is the association a Vaishnava has to abandon. And Srila Narottam Das Thakur also says, when the mind is completely purified, how will it happen? When one is free from material anxieties and desires. Then only I will be able to understand Vrindavan. We talk about performing bhakti in the Braj Bhav, on the footsteps of gopis or Brajvasis. But how to understand that Vrindavan? Only when we become free from material anxieties and desires. Then only we can understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Then only our spiritual life will be successful. So instead, nature of soul is to have some desires, to have some attachments. So what a devotee does, he switches his desires and attachments from Asat Sangha to the pastimes, to the glories, to the service of Krishna. And then our mind automatically becoming attached to Krishna. And these Shravanam and Kirtanam, all the devotional services should be done consciously. I'm speaking for myself also. Because if we are not consciously hearing, it becomes a routine. It becomes boring. There is no excitement. It becomes very mechanical. So we should always be conscious of our spiritual practices. Meaning what? We should always be conscious, aware of the glories of these devotional practices. That how they are going to connect us to the highest, the topmost. If somebody tells us, but tomorrow you will get an appointment with the President of United States, then obviously we will be very excited, right? But then the same thing that, oh, okay, now every day you can meet with him. Probably we'll start feeling, okay, now it's not that important, right? So that familiarity comes in when we all are very familiar since last many years to this process of japa, to this process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, and whatnot, worshipping the deities. So we should try not to let it become mechanical, routine. There should always be excitement. Oh, every Sunday I have to go to temple. No, it's not every Sunday. It's the new Sunday. How can I serve even better today? How can I participate in the Aarti, in the Kirtan during Aarti today? How can I learn more points from the speaker today when he will speak? That excitement has to be there. Otherwise, it becomes a mundane activity. Very important point. See, because why excitement? How can we create that excitement? What is the practical way? Because this is our conditioning. We become very familiar with things as we perform them every day. We become very immune, so to God. So what can remind us? Every day, every morning, we should remind this: death can come anytime. This is the biggest lesson in this chapter, in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam. The death can come anytime. Where and how, why, no one knows. Let's accept it. We don't know. The three things that our Acharya says that we have no control. Number one, nobody wants death, but death comes. Number two, no one wants to part away from their money, but it may go, it may come anytime. Death, money, and young age. No one wants to, those who have crossed 40s, 45 or 50, they can understand. Those who are below 30, they still think, oh, I will be like this forever. No. So three things we have no control: death, money, and yavan. Yavan means young age. Especially till almost till the age of 30, when we get wished for our birthday, we feel very happy. After 30s, okay, I hope one who is wishing me will not ask me for my age. That feeling comes, right? Otherwise, oh yes, I'm sweet 16, I'm sweet 18 or whatnot, right? So much celebration. But a true Vaishnava, a sincere Vaishnava, a devotee is not attached to these things. He's not bothered about death. He's fearless, like Maharaj Parikshit. He has no attachment to money. He can leave anything and everything in the pursuit of real happiness, real goal, like Maharaj Parikshit. And he has no attachment to young age. Maharaj Parikshit was not at old. He was still having all the opulence of the body and mind also, and he left it, So the prescription is that we should be engaged in Krishna consciousness 24/7, because we don't know when will be our last moment. And how to remember Krishna 24/7? Again, same thing. Darshan of the Krishna, hearing about Krishna, reading about Krishna, chanting, serving Krishna and devotees. All these limbs of bhakti, they nourish each other. Our hearing and reading will nourish our chanting will nourish our other practices. When we go to temple, let's appreciate the deities, the beauty, their ornaments. That will create excitement. But we no need to show to others. Sometimes some new devotees or even, anyway, the mindset is okay, just to try to glorify how big a devotee I am. See, I'm appreciating Krishna. No, that subtle feeling should not be there, that I have to express myself as a very advanced devotee. It has to be an internal process. We can express confidentially with Pujari how beautiful deities are looking. Very genuine expression, not artificially. Because when this will be done genuinely, not to become famous as an advanced or senior devotee, that creates permanent impression of that beauty of Krishna in our heart. And then Lord sitting in our heart will reciprocate to that appreciation, genuine appreciation, true appreciation, not artificial. Very sweet process. We're appreciating Krishna, his beauty, his glories, and then he will reciprocate by giving more devotion to us. Even when we are sleeping, we can become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada used to say, read Krishna book in the night when you're drinking a cup of hot milk. That process becomes Krishna conscious, because if you do that, you will get Krishna dreams. How sweet it is, right? So the idea is to become conscious. That's why Prabhupada used the word conscious. And it's a journey. We cannot become conscious in one night or one day, or just on one Sunday, or just by hearing one class. It's a practice. And another one quick important point, that Krishna consciousness practice means stop sinning. That is why we have all these principles. And Prabhupada used to say that even for advanced devotees, sometimes it's very difficult to control our mind because of our previous millions of lifetimes of conditioning. So in spite of knowing all the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, devotional philosophy, all the do's and don'ts, devotees may fall victim to Maya, external forces. Because even they might commit some sinful activities. But if such a devotee is determined, never leaves the path of Krishna consciousness, but keeps on sincerely performing his devotional services, practices, under the care of spiritual master, Krishna will take care of such devotee. He will make all the arrangements. He will create situation so that the devotee can be saved from those sinful activities. But the desire should be sincere. He has to go through the purification. He should be ready to go with the purification. So a lot of things we can discuss here. One quickly is to practice Krishna conscious devotion, a proper environment is needed. That is also indicated in this verse. How he is going to the bank of Ganges, proper sadhu sangha, proper devotees. So in old times, people used to go to these holy places. Now, but unfortunately, in this age of Kali Yuga, even these holy places have become very polluted. We see they're not clean. So many people are just crowding these places just as to make the YouTube reels or Facebook reels, right? They just go as a tourist. So what is the best place? Very safe place these days. Go to ISKCON Hare Krishna temple. Attend Mangala Arati. Hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Serve devotees. Eat prasadam. And then, as Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, we can realize Shri Vrindavan. Kabe hama haribo Shri Vrindavan. When will I realize Shri Vrindavan? When will I have access to Vrindavan? When we are doing this, all these activities in the temple. See, Vrindavan is known as Braja, which literally means to move. Move where? How to move? What is the meaning? Moving towards Krishna. That is the meaning of Braja. So all our activities, we should dovetail, as Srila Prabhupada instructed, in our journey towards Krishna. That will create the spirit of Vrindavan in us, around us, within us, outside us. That will create the spiritual vibration. So I think I will stop here, and we can use few minutes to take any questions, any comments, any corrections, if anyone has. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Maharaj Parikshit ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for a very nice lecture. Devotees, if you have takeaways or questions or realizations you want to connect with the lecture today, very nice lecture by His Grace, dear Krishna Prabhu, please unmute yourself and ask a question or share, and let's have a nice Krishna conscious kata conversation among us. Hare Krishna.
I was trying to situate myself after my service. Trying to find a couch so I can sit down. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance to Prabhupada. I really want to thank you for linking the purport to Srila Prabhupada. How he gave his life the way Marge Pritchett did, and how you linked it and you connected it. It really touched my heart because Srila Prabhupada gave everything he had up until his last moment. Like when you're speaking about, Marge Pritchett had 7 days and all that. And Srila Prabhupada was literally translating the Bhagavatam on his dying bed up until. So I was really appreciating how it's so important for us to really go deep into Prabhupada's life and actually see the connection. So I really want to thank you, Prabhu, for really connecting that and bringing Prabhupada back into the forefront of our minds and why we are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I mean, how can we not think of Srila Prabhupada, when we read this? He's the living personified Bhagavatam for us. So
Yes.
whatever we hear in these past times, he lived it perfectly. Thank you for impressing that, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And Prabhu, I want to ask you, you were sharing this really nice pastime of Pishima. Where did you find all these pastimes? I'm very curious. They're very nice pastimes.
Yeah, so your question is, where did I find?
Yes,
Yeah, it is on one of the website. I can share that website to you.
please. Oh my God,
Yeah.
such a beautiful pastime.
Yeah.
Prabhu, when you were speaking about Pishima, how much faith you had in Chanamrit, I was really thinking and I was reflecting on myself, where is my faith?
Okay. So let you want to hear more? I couldn't cover it because of time.
I would like to hear more.
So once she was in Krishna Balaram temple, our ISKCON Vrindavan, and she was sitting there and on the steps. You know that when we go to Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi, there are steps there. And he was, I think the Bibi Govind Maharaj, yeah, he was busy attending to other services that time in the temple. And he could not pay attention to her. Obviously, if Pishima is there, everybody will, be with her, take her association. But he was busy with some other services. Suddenly, he noticed that she got up and as like she is going to leave the place. And she took out her bottle of Ganga water and began sprinkling all over the steps. Okay. Maharaj was like, what's going on? Why is she doing that? So he approached her. The word mentioned is cautiously and respectfully. So whenever we want to question our senior or advanced devotee or Krishna meaning the Guru, we should be cautious and respectful, not be in the challenging mood. So why she had done it? She asked very politely, very respectfully. She looked at him very grave. She gave him a very grave look and explained in very humble way. These were the words of Pishima. I have to do this everywhere I go because I am so sinful. Because she was sitting there, as she got up, she wanted to purify that place, see the consciousness. And here I am so much puffed up, so much ego, false ego. Even if I complete my 16 rounds in the morning, somehow, wow, I'm going to bring that up in the conversation to other devotees. Or somehow I will try to show them, I'm done, buddy. You keep chanting. So that blew my mind. That this is the consciousness of a pure devotee. And why Srila Prabhupada used to respect her so much. No wonder. That's not just because she was his sister. She was a great devotee.
Beautiful pastime, Prabhu. And it's so true. These are the great souls that we have to always hear about and reflect on, because when we think that we are so great, we are so puffed up, we just get smashed within a second when you think of these great souls. Wow. Thank you for the beautiful pastime. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and devotees.
Yay. So Hare Krishna. Okay. You left something in the chat?
Yeah, I just wanted to post, devotees can read because so much things we discussed. I just wanted to put a recap there.
Okay.
If somebody is lost, they can go through that quickly and maybe that can trigger some conversation.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So my takeaway also from this is when you were mentioning about the Chanamrita, a couple of things came to mind. One was Srila Prabhupada, when he was little, he contracted typhoid. Typhoid fever at that time, there was no cure for it. And Gomohande, Srila Prabhupada's father, was told by his friend, Dr. Bose, that, yeah, there's no cure, but some people have been mildly successful by, having the patient drink chicken soup. And maybe we can try that on our body. And Gomohande was very much against it at first. He said, no, 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 nothing. Finally, because Srila Prabhupada's mother would also say, but if Srila Prabhupada leaves the body, that no, she won't be able to bear it. So then Gomohande finally said, all right, you can give chicken soup, but it will not be cooked at his house. Dr. Bush said, I'll cook it at my house, no problem. He brought it, but then Srila Prabhupada, when he was little, he tried to give it to him, and he never took it. Put it in his body, he spilled it out, and then finally Gomohande took his child to the altar at their house. And what did he do? He gave Srila Prabhupada Chanamrit,
Yeah.
and Srila Prabhupada recovered from typhoid fever. At that time, there was no cure. Chanamrita that the father gave him, he recovered from it. That was one that made me remember. The second point was I had some God family members that came in 2003 from Ghana to Girinadri. Some of them are still there. Some of them returned, but some of them are still there. And I remember one of them told me that when they were in Ghana, they were in a group. We would go in one van from village to village, and they would be chanting the holy name. And they also had Chanamrit with them.
Yeah.
And the people that were sick in the village, they gave them Chanamrit, and Chanamrit healed them. The first time I heard about the healing powers of Chanamrit, it was actually from her, my god sister Yeshira, Dasi. So yeah, there's very, very, very great power in Chanamrit, and it really behooves us now that we have deities that are based, we have Chanamrit. We should definitely take advantage of it, even in our temples, and have Chanamrit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for adding these beautiful pastimes. And yeah, I mean, I'm reminding to myself whenever anything we are doing in the temple, just it may seem like a very small thing to accept an Amrit, but it's so powerful. The only condition is we should have that faith and that respect towards it. And it's a tried and tested method. Our so many devotees they are using this for spiritual benefit. So whenever we see our Sarvang Damodar Prabhu distorting Charnamrit or Ishika standing there, we should respect that Charnamrit and then honor it. Thank you, Prabhu, so much.
Guru's mercy, Krishna's mercy. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
And thank you, Prabhu, for actually mentioning about Charnamrit, because I do know that our devotees, try to give it out. But I think sometimes we don't really see the potency of it. And I think we have to glorify it more, I feel, in our temple, because, that is directly from the deities. I mean, what better way? And I think we have to really pump it up in our temple to have devotees realize the power of Chanamrit.
Yeah, the problem is it's again, I mean, I'm talking to myself, that there is a competition to rush to the front of the row, take darshan of deity, and we forget how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take darshan in Jagannath Puri, right behind everybody in that to the pillar, Garuna Stambha. Not doesn't mean that we all have to stand back and sit back. That's not the idea. Idea is the consciousness, right? Who are we showing, artificially? I'm again telling to myself. So just be conscious. I think the small answer is just be conscious of what we are doing in the temple. Are we doing it to just show to others or to really grow in spiritually? So when we become conscious, then these small things or seemingly small things like Charnamrit or smelling the flower of the remnants of Krishna or Lord, they also become very, very powerful. Right? So, as I always try to say, or I'm a failure in that myself, but as soon as we enter the boundary of temple, we should think we are in Dham, Vrindavan. Automatically, consciousness should change.
Yeah.
Very good point, Prabhu. Yeah, that's such a good point. And I think also we have to probably start teaching devotees, like the basic importance of such maha that we get from the deities. It's so important that we have to glorify, the small, like I was talking to Ram Babu, a few months ago, and he was saying, Mataji, we have to teach the children, the little ones especially, not to waste prasadam, because they come up and they make their own plate. And he says, it's Mahaprasad, because when we offer it, and then once it's offered, we put it back in the pot, and the whole pot becomes Mahaprasad. And there's so much we're wasting. In fact, he was saying as they waste so many cups. But that's also, Krishna's property. We have to start teaching the devotees that this is just not bought from Sam's Club.
Yeah, as a devotees who are serving, or as a servants who
Yeah.
are serving, that we can become a little more conscious even while serving and handling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so everything, like Prabhupada, you would see Krishna in everything, not to waste, not to this, not to that. And I think we have to really,
Because yeah, we forget that everything relates or reciprocates equally. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. If I give somebody a gift and I see him in front of my eyes, not respecting or throwing it or wasting it, how will I feel? So Krishna feels the same way, right?
oh, that's a good point, Prabhu. You're right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah. Thank you. Any other
Anyone else?
questions from devotees? Please, if you would like to ask, please go ahead, ask any questions. You can unmute yourself. You can say whatever. Yes, Bhakta
Hare
Brett.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. I thought I was muted. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories
Yes,
to
my
Srila
gosh,
Prabhupada.
yeah.
I have a question, Prabhuji, but I just wanted to add on that final note how you say, Krishna sees you throwing away. That was something my grandmother always told me as a young boy. Like every time you throw something out, every time, you even spit on the ground, angels are crying, don't
Wow.
Because it's very true, it's their property. It's not ours. But Prabhuji, my question, is on differentiating between satsanga and sadhusanga, on our path towards Krishna consciousness. And this is for my own benefit. We always hear a lot of the youth are very, can be resilient to guidance. They want the instant gratification, the validation, the easy way out. They don't want the tough love or the hard, working on your character quality type. So, how do we mentally, build our sadhu sangha and set up that differentiation between, the devotee who's just, telling me things to make me feel good with the devotee who, is more in line with Srila Prabhupada and has my benefit in mind. That's the question, Prabhuji, but to me, it's thinking, you have to have a good balance with your, resilience in Krishna consciousness, and then at the same time, be open, without being, I guess getting lost in the nectar, licking the outside of the bottle, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says. So yeah, sorry for that, Prabhuji, but again, the question is, how do we set a differentiation in our mind between satsanga, sadhusanga, and, develop proper association?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you, before you answer that question, define for everybody satsanga, Hare Krishna Prabhu, satsanga, and sadhu sangha, so that it's clear. If you don't mind doing that.
I think probably the question is the differentiation between asat sangha and sadhu sangha.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that what you meant? Asat is the negative part of,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So,
all right, go ahead then. All right,
yeah.
so I didn't hear properly. Sorry, I apologize.
No, that's fine, but because both sound similar, sat asat, right? I might not be very clear. So asat sangha, first of all, so if I understood the question, how can we differentiate ourselves and start choosing sadhu sangha more and more, right? Red Prabhu, in short, right? So first of all, again, it all ultimately the responsibility comes to us. It all depends on what our real desire is. By experience, we will see as it's a journey, right? So it's a journey. Just like when we grow up, we meet all kinds of friends who could be real friends, who could be fake friends, who could be even artificial friends. And then as we become mature and based on whom we really want to associate with, we start getting attracted to that association. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, what is our real desire? We just want to pass through as a, just hang on there. Do we really want to grow up in Krishna consciousness? What exactly is our desire? And seeing our sincere desire, Krishna will definitely send the likewise guru and devotees in our life. So first of all, that's the first question, is to identify our real desire. Do I really want to do this? And then whatever situation we might be right now, we have been given intelligence. We cannot deny that. So we use our intelligence also. These are all gifts of Krishna. Our intelligence, our emotions, our feelings, these are gifts from Krishna. So we use all of these gifts to identify where I fit best. We don't differentiate, especially in the devotee community. We don't differentiate in the sense that we don't disrespect anybody. But what is good for me? We choose that based on my desire. So in my limited understanding and experience, this is what helps me to be just conscious of my desires, what exactly I want. And I have seen, at least I can see, I have seen that similar associations get attracted automatically. Somehow we'll get it. That is Krishna's arrangement, as long as we are sincere in our desire. Maybe Parikshit Prabhu or Ansimati ji with much more experienced with this, they can add to it something.
Hare Krishna. But when you were answering the question, what came to mind was that you were actually saying in another way what Rupa Goswami had already said, that accept all things favorable to devotional service and reject all things unfavorable to devotional service. So when you say use your intelligence, absolutely, Krishna is giving intelligence, but then you use that to say, is what I'm happening, is what I'm connected with, or what's happening with me and someone else in this relationship helpful towards devotional service? Is what I'm doing helpful towards devotional service? What I'm hearing helpful towards devotional service? If yes, then do it. And if no, our intelligence will tell us, because intelligence is the part that discriminates between what's right and what's not right. And then we just, of course, we have the Shastra and then the lectures to back it up so we know what's right and what's not. Then we stay away from those like that. And so that's what came to mind. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. That's a very nice point. And I wanted to cover one more point, is that any association that makes us lazy in devotional service, that is not plain and simple, not a good association. Any association which encourages, inspires, and elevates us. Otherwise, the result of bad association will be the effect of Maya will be more on us. We will become more lazy. In the sense, materially, we are still very active. We might start spending more time in the gym, not saying that gym is bad, but just to think about it. Or some other activities. We will become more active and less active in the spiritual life, slowly, without even we realize Maya attacks in that way. So that can be another rule, that anything that encourages us in or inspires us for devotional service, that is a sadhu sangha. Anything that discourages us to go to temple, to perform devotional service, whatever may be the reason, we can make millions of reasons around us to prove our point of view. But that's the bottom line, I think.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Maguma Maharaj said, I'm looking at the time now, it's almost 9:20. But just one point to put in, Maguma Maharaj said that we should all, at the time when he was here, Bhakti Maharaj, to his disciples, we should understand in Maya, when we are in Maya, it means lazy and lack of compassion. We don't have much compassion, we're laziness. That's Maya. Yeah. So he said we should remember that. Hare Krishna. Yes, just
Thank you,
wanted to
Prabhu,
add.
for sharing. Yeah. And Brett Prabhu, we all are in the same journey. So don't feel alone. Struggle for everyone, at least for me. So you're not alone.
Hare
Any-
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. I'm very grateful for devotees like you. I know. Always stay close to your devotee and hold on. Haribol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So is it okay, Prabhu, to conclude now? Thank you. Thank you so much. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to all the devotees. Thank you, Mataji, for giving me this service. It helps me a lot when I prepare.
More coming your way.
Oh my God. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Hope I won't become lazy. So pray for me.
If more comes, there's no time for lazy, Prabhu.
That is true. That is true. Thank you. Thank you, all the
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you all
Hare
on the next
Krishna.
Monday.
Hare Krishna. Go Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Glory to
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai.